First Watch now.
What you need to know from the Cochise County Sheriff's Office.
Hosted by Cochise County Public Information Officers Carol Kappas and Grady Butler. First Watch on 92.3 KWCD.
And it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, giving you an inside look into your Sheriff's Office. I'm Grady Butler, and with me is Carol Kappas, Public Information Officer with the Sheriff's Office, and Sheriff Mark Daniels. Good morning.
Good morning, Cochise County.
Hello, everyone.
Well, we missed you last week, Sheriff.
I know. I felt bad. I really felt bad. It's hard when you're not here. And we had the Attorney General, Mark Brnovich, flew into Douglas and wanted to spend time on some of our programs, some of our needs. And one of the things we're pushing forward with the Attorney General is to get an injunction against social media recruiting juveniles and adults for smuggling in Cochise County. It's really prevalent there. It's where the kids are being infected by it. So we're asking the Attorney General to partner with us. So we had a really long talk on that and many other things on the border.
And the governor also visited this week.
He did. The governor was in on Tuesday. It was an improv visit. Excuse me. We didn't know he was coming until Friday, and got a call from his staff saying, hey, the governor's coming down. So he sat. We did a roundtable with law enforcement from Border Patrol, Chief Adam Thrasher from Sierra Vista, Craig Fulham from Douglas PD, and some other folks were in the room that represented EMS, for example. But it was a really good meeting with them. It was a good meeting with the governor. It was very collective, which I always appreciate in a meeting. And we talked about the current border status. Border Patrol gave an update on that, which is not good. We all know that. So, and then the governor announced to us that he's going to do the 26 Governor Association Border Intel Plan, which is really their sharing intel on a better basis right now than they are, to include identifying those targeted criminal groups, those violent groups, the cartels within the respective communities and states that we can go after. And then that involves sheriffs and police chiefs too. So it's another step to address a border issue.
That rolls into the new building that they're looking at here in Cochise County, like a general centralized location for information sharing.
It does. It's because, we're on the ground level of it. So what we can feed and what other sheriffs and law enforcement on the border can feed to our state, and the state can feed to other states, it just makes it more inclusive when it comes to identifying and apprehending these criminal cartels. It really is where it goes down to. So, yeah, we're excited. And in fact, the governor made a comment, and I'll share with the folks listening today, that what we're doing in Cochise County is a role model throughout the state and beyond. So, and it's working here, our Safe Streets program.
And that's one of the things that we really have to focus on is Safe Streets. People see a lot of things on our social media about those types of incidents, and it almost seems like it's overtaking our Facebook page. And we don't want to have that happen, because our worst thing that we want to have happen is to desensitize people, but I don't know that that's going to happen. I think it just continues to bring to light the issues that we face in Cochise County, and that's just a very small portion of Operation Safe Streets being handled or disseminated or managed throughout the county. Yeah,
it's a snapshot of what's going on our operations, and when we run those 2 nights ago, they're just busy. Truly busy, and it's very unfortunate. We thought we were getting a little bit of a handle on this. We had a low in it for about a week. I'm thinking, wow, they're going to change this behavior. Well, they cranked up the price to $2,000 per person now to drive them, which tells me they're not changing Cochise County, which amazes me why you'd want to play in this county with so much prevention and enforcement, but they're here. They're taking on the challenge, if you want to call it such. So, yeah, they're very busy. I mean, look what happened last night up on I-10. Which I'm being told originated in Cochise County. So the pickup of the illegals. So it just tells you we got a lot of work to do. We truly have a lot of work to do. And I'm just saying, when I was speaking to the governor about this is a local, state, federal initiative supported by a community. Truly supported by a community. And you see what's on the Facebook, Carol, that you're putting out there. These are snapshots of certain incidents that happen here and there. The people, for the most part, are very, very thankful and grateful for what we're doing. We're doing our best to keep them safe. It's all you can do based on a restricted budget and restricted resources and staffing. We can only do so much.
And another thing you've done since we've last talked to you is you talked before Congress.
I did. 2 weeks ago, I spoke before Congress on border security. It was a border security subcommittee out of U.S. Congress. It went very well. I spoke on a local impact. I've been asked to speak next Wednesday again in front of another subcommittee at Congress. I will do it virtually. I have some other. I'm already committed for Monday, Tuesday, so Wednesday I'll be doing a virtual testimony in front of U.S. Congress. And again, I think it's so important that we continue to impress the impact that we're seeing on communities when it comes to our border, when it comes to public safety, national security, humanitarian. And let's talk about health for a minute, too.
And so bringing all of this back to other things that are going on, because sometimes people may think that that's the sole focus of the Sheriff's Office, and it's not. There's so many different pies we have to have our finger in. One of them is the peer support group for the Sheriff's Office, and they just had their meeting yesterday. So tell us a little bit about what the TAG group is so people know.
TAG stands for Team Advisory Group. These are frontline team members that work in detention, that work in patrol, that work in support, and also our volunteers. I meet with them once a month. They've been hand-selected as that individual who can come to a meeting, can influence and speak their mind. They're upcoming leaders within the Sheriff's Office. And so this has been going on for about a year, but I sit down with them and we talk about operational needs. And I'll give you an example, and I'll just share it with our viewers. One of the things they brought up yesterday was they had a behavioral adult female, one of the regions that we had called to, very unstable. The deputy took her to the crisis center. The crisis center did a Title 36, which means she's a danger to herself or others, which means it's also a commitment order. So they called us back and said, "I need to transport this individual to Tucson." So we transported her to Tucson. First of all, one deputy. No radio comms once we leave Cochise County. So we're really putting ourselves in risk on that. When this was brought up to me as Sheriff, what do you think about this scenario? What I did right after that was I directed my command staff to figure out we got to fix that. We have to have radio communications, and there's apps on our phones that go right into our dispatch that our deputies, detention officers who do transport, have that ability anywhere in the state and beyond, when they go beyond the state even, can call our dispatch. Second to that is we need two people in a car. We truly do. Any allegation that comes beyond that now becomes a headline. I'm not saying it's factual, but any allegation, then the deputies now is being accused out here on the highway or in rural interstate, or if something medically happens to that individual, he stops, he's trying to dress her by himself, trying to get help. It's just not the best solution. So my point on all this, that's the things we discussed. How can we improve our operational task? And this was an example that came up yesterday.
And the Sheriff's Office is in the budget season as well.
Yeah. Three things I'm dealing with right now: border, budget, and jail. I mean, we're dealing with all three of them right now. But we're in our annual budget. We're asking for three things: an upgrade in our clothing allowance. Deputies right now get $720 a year for clothing allowance, and detention officers, we want to up that to $1,000. It hasn't been up or addressed probably for 25 years. It's been a long, long time. It's time. A small amount of funds, I think $60,000 for SWAT equipment, some annual renewals, and last but not least is $479,000 for market increases for our sworn and support staff. The jail's covered under a different fund. So, and that's a 5% raise. With the inflation, with the competitive, with law enforcement around the state, most are way above the 5%. And we did the market adjustments, and a lot of our positions were 14 to 19% below market. So we know we're below the curve. So we're asking for a 5%. We understand we're a rural county, but we got to stay competitive. Otherwise, our recruitment retention is going to be a real challenge here in Cochise County. We'll become a liability training ground, and I don't want to become that.
And there's a state budget also that you wanted to mention.
Yeah, some of y'all saw in the media about the state was going to adopt a skinny budget. And there's many ways to describe that, but really what it means is they adopt last year's budget and they move forward. So nothing extra is put into the budget. It can be under special. I don't want to speak like I know everything on this. I don't. But we have some funding that's been put through the budget that we've got through appropriations, both Senate and House, for our jail, $20 million. We're also trying to increase that through negotiations with the state. If they adopt a skinny budget, for example, that goes away unless there's a special revenue for that. But chances are it wouldn't be. The reason I say that is there's $5.3 billion sitting on the table if you walk away on a skinny budget. We need that funds, and there's other groups, associations, cities, counties that have their needs too, and to leave that kind of money on the table just is to me, not good. So I made some calls. I actually spoke to the governor on that one. He told me he did not support a skinny budget, which means they're going to walk out session and not have a full session where they actually look at special funding. So they voted. It was voted down in the House side of the state, which means now we're still in session, which is really good for us down here. So I want to thank Gail Griffin and Dave Godwin. I talked to both of them and pushed them really hard on this one. So thank you for listening to me and taking my call. I drive them nuts sometimes during session, but you have to. I mean, we're all in this together. I'm representing public safety in the community. They're representing the state on a bigger budget, but we need each other when it comes down to it.
And the community is going to start hearing more about the jail.
They are. We just hired the board. Peggy Judd and English voted to hire a marketing team. That's all this team does. They do a lot of other things, but they market jail districts, which is a half-cent sales tax to sustain our jail for the next 25 years. So if we bring in seed money, state money, which takes a burden off our taxpayers here in Cochise County from the state, I've also put a grant in to the federal government. We'll see how far we get with that to help offset cost here for our jail. But long story short is they'll go out and they'll market for the next year the pros of a jail district and also a cons and where we sit in Cochise County. They're the fact-driven source. They're going to pay them $3,500 a week for, I think it's up to so many weeks, and but then they float through it. So they'll be with us probably for the next year. And I'll be out there on this, talking to citizens about this. I've already done that for the last couple of years, if not more. So this is a team that's a professional marketing group. They probably wouldn't call themselves marketing, but that's what their simple way to describe them, that will be doing this. So we're excited about that. We're hoping to have a special election next year on the jail district tax. Over half the sheriff's offices in the state have it already. It's truly a blessing to the tax users. Most people see a property tax, but this ain't a property tax. It's a half-cent sales tax. It's estimated to bring in about $8 million a year extra to sustain our jail for 25 years. And then that's the sunset clause. It'll then go into the citizens have to vote on it again if they want to do it again. And in 25 years, they'll be looking to build a new one again. So, yeah, we're excited about that, and I want to thank Ann English and Peggy Judd for that.
And that's like the double side of that coin. So one side is we definitely need a new jail. There's just only so much duct tape that you can put on something. It just doesn't work.
Well, the plumbing was out.
Right.
2 weeks ago, the plumbing's out. They're out there digging it. We had no water. The plumbing that system, it goes back to the infrastructure, is so bad. And it's underground. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's tough to maintain something that's underground or cemented within the floors of our jails. So, again, it just, every day something's breaking. And it's costing the taxpayers money. It's not fair to the taxpayers. So we're doing some innovative. We have to move this jail.
And the second side of that, just like you mentioned, it's not like it falls solely on the shoulders of people who live in Cochise County for their property taxes. It is everyone who's passing through. You get a soda at Valero, you do right. Whatever. It's all spread throughout whoever is coming through Cochise County, and that's the best way to do it. Well, and
I use the analogy. Look at the truckers that come through Cochise County. They stop at the 4K up in San Simon. They're building new Loves there in Wilcox, or all these truck stops on I-10, and they fill up, $200 to $300, $400, $500 worth of gas, diesel. That's a half-cent sales tax. That's big money coming into Cochise County. So it's an all-user. If you're going to visit our county, you're going to buy a product here, that supports our jail. So it's not a property tax, folks. It's a sales tax. And jails are the kind of the nucleus, the atom of public safety. The criminal justice, probation, parole, the jail is the hub of all that. And so we need a industry-driven, modern jail, and so we're pretty excited about it.
And another thing that we're doing to focus inwards on our community are looking at teachers. So Teacher of the Year Awards coming this weekend.
Tomorrow, the Teacher of the Year Award, Jackie Clay and her team have put together, again, Cochise County's top educators, and tomorrow I will be there. I've been asked if I can announce the Teacher of the Year for Cochise County. So thank you, Jackie, for letting me do that. And this will be my third or fourth year I've got the opportunity to do that. So we're excited. And like I said, I'll say it again, educators are my heroes. They do an amazing job of working with our young people. And if you have, we take them for granted, kind of like we do law enforcement. But they do. They go into the schools every day and they work with, especially some of our vulnerable kids. And I've seen them, being a coach for as long as I have. They just do an incredible. And I look at last year with COVID. They did incredible. They came out there and did some very innovative things to get those kids educated last year in a very tough time. So thank you, and that's tomorrow, so I'm excited.
And one kid from Huachuca Mountain got a very special ride with you.
Yes, Dre. He won an award over at Huachuca Mountain School. They asked me if I'd pick up a student, the winning student, and pick him up and bring him to school. So I agreed to do that. Dre was the winner, so I went to his house on Tuesday morning, picked him up, and 7:50 in the morning, and I asked Mom. I said, "Mom, do you mind if I take him and get him a juice or something? Can he have this?" And she said, "Oh, yes." So I took him over. It's okay. We got a juice for him and a snack, and just a great kid, very polite, very professional. I understand why he was their pick. And then we pulled into school, and all the administrators were out there and waited for us. So just a neat event. Anytime that we can, in law enforcement, can interact with our young people. This is the second one we've had here in about a month, and I'll get those pictures to you, Carol, when we get those on our Facebook. But there's something cool about that, and he was so excited. I mean, just looking at all the radios and stuff we take for granted, I guess, and he was just so excited to be in that car. And but he talked, and it was just a good time. So thank you, Dre, and appreciate you being with me.
Future deputy.
He is.
Not officer, deputy.
He is. In fact, I was at a community event last night, and there's some people there saying, "Sheriff, we're going to come work for you." And Service PD was there, and they said, "What about us?" I said, "If we get full, we'll send the rest over to you. Come on, guys. Let's not be competitive here." And that's all in fun, guys. It's all in fun.
And one of the things that is central to public safety in Cochise County right now is our CCOM. So that's our Regional Communication Center, and it started in 2018, July 18th of 2018, kicked off. So we're really excited to continue working on growing that particular unit and their own entity. So they're just picking up pieces along the way. We talked last week with the commander about, with Mike Klein, the director, about the PSAPs, the Public Safety Answering Points, and 911s all going into CCOM and Douglas Police Department in the next bit. So what we're doing is trying to just organize all of that in a better way. So as of now, Bisbee Police Department's communications are going to be run through there as well, correct? Yeah,
it'd be Bisbee Police and Fire both. They signed the agreement this week. So welcome, City of Bisbee, to our CCOM. Again, CCOM's just a regional one-shop 911 center. You have to be worried about being transferred. I mean, that was the vision. That was the seed. It's growing. We have a couple other agencies we're hoping to jump on here real soon. And Douglas, we're looking to be as a backup center for us as our second largest city in the county. And so if something happens to CCOM over here in Sierra Vista, we have a backup. So again, it's really nice to see that grow. But if you're interested in being a dispatcher, we are hiring. Very competitive pay over there. We just upped the pay recently, but yeah, if you're interested, you're looking for something to get in public safety, please go to the City of Sierra Vista's website. They do the hiring for us. Go to the website. You'll see a dispatch telecommunicator over there, and put in the application. Let's get you in the process, but it's a great place to work.
And also, we've had some fires in the area, and some of them are pretty scary.
We have. In fact, the other night we had 5 different fires, all in an evening. That's a lot, and you almost think, what's going on? And we still question that. There was a big question next morning during debriefs. But I'll just say this, that this is part of my safety message too. Be very careful out there. The one incident that started up in off Highway 181, chain had fallen off the back of a truck as he's going on the road, and it was sparking. So he's setting fires all the way down the road. And let me just tell you, we got very lucky on that one. I mean, with the winds that we're seeing right now, very lucky. And I got a very nice attaboy for 2 of our deputies to help a lady save her house from burning down. And I just put that out yesterday. So, again, it's just be very careful. I mean, it's so dry. And look at the wind today. I mean, I even took my flag down. It was so windy. I was walking out. So just be very careful. Don't be open burning right now. That's the first thing I'd say. Don't be open burning. Most your fire districts and cities don't have an open burn right just because it's so dry. But so we ask you, just be vigilant on that.
And a couple things that we find out. So we try to do after-action reports on major incidents. There was another fire in Hereford yesterday of a house that took several hours too. But as our after-action, we try to figure out what's going on. And the one off of 191, there was a problem with Verizon too, cell phones. Yes. Just didn't have good communications. And that did impact our ability to notify the public who were signed up for AlertSense. And if you don't know what AlertSense is, please go onto our webpage at cochise.az.gov/sheriff. It says right there, notification sign up. Sign up for that. You can sign up for notifications of any emergency incident, any fire, any boiling water situation where, the water, maybe something has happened and they want you to boil your water. All kinds of things you can be notified on: landline, email, text messaging, cell phone calls. So when we were doing this, not only did we have the challenge of not having cell phone coverage that was adequate, but we had the hurdle of, again, having people not understand what Alert Sense is, and that there is that option through Cochise County Emergency Services. They do a great job as far as managing that program. But please, if you ever want to know of anything emergent going on in your area, sign up for Alert Sense. It's really important, and it goes along with our Ready, Set, Go program. There's the three things that we have. We have the ready status, the set status, the go status. And by the time the fire on 191, 181 got going, people were going door to door. Commander Bradshaw rallied the troops and had all of animal control officers sat, every available deputy going door to door, and that's exactly what they were doing. They were knocking on doors telling people, you're going to have to leave, because of the wind and everything going along with that.
Yeah, I agree 100% on that one. And but I want to give I'll shift gears just a little bit here. I want to give a shout out, going back to my Safe Streets, our Safe Streets, because it's collective with law enforcement. But we're really making an impact. With that comes consequences, prosecutions. And I want to give a shout out to Brian McIntyre, our county attorney, and his team over there, Lori Zuko and everybody. We put a huge burden on them. We can go out and do all the enforcement that we're capable of doing, but if we don't have a prosecutor and a county attorney that's going to support us, that breaks the system. He has stepped up. I mean, I can't say enough about his team over there. So thank you, Brian. Thank you, Lori. Thank you to all the prosecutors over at Cochise County Attorney's Office for what they're doing.
Well, Sheriff Mark Daniels, we thank you for coming and talking to us today.
Thank you, Grady. Thank you, Carol. Have a safe week, everyone.
And Carol, who do we have coming in next?
We have Cochise County Information Technology CIO Joe Casey.
First Watch on KWCD Country, brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
It's First Watch now.
Hosted by Public Information Officer Carol Kappas and Grady Butler.
On 92.3 KWCD.
And it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, giving you an inside look into your sheriff's office. I'm Grady Butler, and with me is Carol Kappas, Public Information Officer with the Sheriff's Office, and our next guest.
Welcome back, Cochise County. And we have the CIO Joe Casey from Cochise County Information Technologies here, and his beautiful daughter. So, hey, welcome for coming in.
Good morning.
So you're doing a survey. First of all, tell us what kind of a survey is this going to be, and what is it for?
So we're doing a broadband feasibility study to figure out where the gaps are throughout Cochise County for broadband. We want to be able to get internet out to the community, out to every house if we can. And so we're trying to figure out where those gaps are so we can go after additional funding and try to find ways to expand broadband throughout the county.
So we're talking about internet when you say broadband. So there are places, there are pockets, is that what it is? Pockets in our county that don't have internet at all?
Yeah, that's correct. So, if you're in Sierra Vista, there's a good chance you have good internet. But if you go out of Sierra Vista, then you may be running into a lot of problems getting sufficient internet connection.
And so why is it important, I mean, of course, for obvious reasons like communicating, but why is it important that this kind of survey gets done?
Well, the important part is to be able to go out and get those funds, because right now I can't say, we need money for Cochise County without saying this is what we actually have throughout the county.
And so you're looking for funds from the state, from the federal, where are the funds coming from?
Both those. There's a lot of federal money out there right now. There's state money out there right now as well. And broadband is so important. It's like electricity and water is. We need to get it to every house.
So tell us a little bit about, outside of this, what your office does.
So we oversee the technology for Cochise County, for the Sheriff's Office, the recorders, assessors, all the departments throughout Cochise County. We provide the computers, servers, so on and so forth. So everybody is everybody that doesn't have internet or everybody that does have internet, who would you like to participate in the survey? Well, we really want everybody to participate in the survey. More important, those that do not have internet. Okay, yeah. So let's talk about the end result here then. So if we get the funding that we need because people have taken the survey, does that mean everybody in the county is going to get internet? And not necessarily. That's our end goal. However, there's only so much money to go around. If we get enough money to go to everybody in the in the county, we'll do so.
Well, let's talk about then, to kind of impress on people how much they need to take this survey. What would happen if the survey just fails and doesn't go through?
Then we just don't have enough information to really go after those funding opportunities.
Then that just makes the question, how do you take the survey?
So if you go to coaches.az.gov and go to the information technology page, there's a button right there to go take the survey. There's 3 surveys. There's a residential, business, and speed test. And so we want everybody to take the speed test, and then residential or business, depending on who you are.
Are there other ways to take the survey?
You could go to any library here in Cochise County. They have the information. They have flyers there, and you get on one of their computers to take the survey. They also have some printed out that you could fill out, or you could call 520-432-6955.
And do we need to put our personal information into the system, or is this anonymous?
It is anonymous. They do not take any personal information. And let me give a correction on that phone number. It's 520-432-9655.
Excellent. All right, so we're going to ask for all of that information again right now. So if you want to grab a pen and paper to write this thing down, start with the libraries and then go to the websites and the phone numbers. That way people that are grabbing a pen will be able to write down those web addresses.
Okay, yeah. If you go to any library, ask for a broadband flyer, you get on a computer. They can help you get logged into the correct site or fill out a paper copy. You go to coaches.az.gov, go to Information Technology Department, and the survey's there. Or you could go to or call 520-432-9655.
Okay, and remember, if you could not write that down, that this show is recorded and placed on the sheriff's page, so you can go listen to this show, find this section, and get all that information once again.
And all that magic occurs between Grady and IT, Marty Renteria. So another thing that your office does for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're very thankful for Marty.
Yes.
I thought I just put it in the air and it went off and did its thing, but actually Marty takes care of me.
She does. She does the magic wand.
Right. Well, we thank you for coming and talking to us today and giving us information on this survey, and we'll try to push that out for you and make everybody that can use it, make it available.
All right. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you for talking to us today. And Carol, who do we have coming in next?
Oh, we have Jay. He's going to talk about community connections.
First Watch on KWCD Country is brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
This is Sergeant Gojkovic with the Cochise County Sheriff's Office. The Cochise County Jail is hiring detention officers. Starting salary is $37,632 a year, plus a comprehensive benefits package to include membership in the Correctional Officer Retirement Plan. Must be 18 years of age and have a high school diploma or GED. Applicants must successfully complete a criminal background check, written test, psychometric test, polygraph, physical ability test, and physical. For more information and to apply, visit cochise.az.gov.
It's First Watch Now.
Hosted by Public Information Officer Carol Kappas and Grady Butler.
On 92.3 KWCD.
And it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, giving you an inside look into your sheriff's office. I'm Grady Butler, and with me is Carol Kappas, Public Information Officer with the Sheriff's Office, and our next guest.
Welcome back, Cochise County. Hey, Jay, thanks for coming in, and tell us all things that are going to be happening on May 3rd.
Well, thanks for having me. On May 3rd, we're having our third Community Connect in Sierra Vista. It's a one-stop shop pop-up resource center bringing together about 30 different agencies to provide any number of needs to anybody out there that's looking for help. And it's going to have a community free meal and necessities giveaway. So we're trying to break down the barriers to access to everything from housing to food security to veteran services, trying to put it all in one place and make it easy for folks to get the help they need.
And where does it take place?
It takes place at the Ethel Berger Center, which is at 2950 East Tacoma Street here in Sierra Vista.
And that's going to be on May 3rd?
May 3rd, yep, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m.
And also Better Bucks is going to be there. Tell us a little bit about Better Bucks.
Better Bucks is a great community resource where instead of giving money, you can purchase these booklets, and we give them out. It has community vouchers and coupons where you can go and get things like food, and there's a transportation voucher in the back so you can get a ride anywhere you might need. So it's a good opportunity to get help to people without necessarily giving cash.
And Jay, you run one of the things that are going to be at Community Connect for housing. Tell us about your organization.
We do. It's called the Cochise Housing Connection. We do primarily a lot of housing counseling, and at the event we're going to be able to sign people up for housing. It's a community. It's a list basically that makes it possible for you to be prioritized for housing anywhere in the state. So we'll be doing that, but we focus on the housing counseling piece and then working with the City of Sierra Vista to facilitate this resource event once a month.
And then at the event, it's everything, like you said, from, if you need food and clothing all the way up to housing and everything in between. So give us some of the organizations that show up that maybe we haven't mentioned before.
Last month we had 6 divisions of the Health and Human Services Department at the county. They did vaccines and health screenings, and we had Chiricahua Community Health there who did vaccines and also health screenings, and we had Canyon Vista, Good Neighbor Alliance, who's a huge community resource here for homeless. We had 3 different veteran services organizations there, and we had everything from addiction services at Hoops House to domestic violence, Forgesh House. So Lori's Place was there, so it was a pretty big spread of organizations that do, and Legal Aid was helping people with, getting resources to get help for any number of things from eviction to divorce.
So when you say one stop, you really mean it. I mean, if you need some kind of services, they're probably going to be at this event.
Yeah, we had so many. We had 11 more than we did the previous month, and it looks like it's growing. So we almost didn't have space for everybody that wanted to be there. So, I mean, in terms of all the tables we had from all these different organizations, so it pretty much covers anything under the sun here in Sierra Vista, Cochise County.
And homeless people can obviously take advantage of this, but it's also for people that maybe just need to step up or are just falling on hard times. It's not just for homeless people.
Oh, absolutely. That's the idea. I mean, we want to make it available to the homeless. We had about 30 that showed up last time. Most of them were women. But, we had a number. We had over 100 people show up, and most of them were, just struggling. And many of them were seniors. So people that are on fixed income and trying to make it work on a budget. But again, it's just open to anyone that's maybe struggling or looking for a friend that might need help. It's a good way to come and get an idea of what's out there, and maybe you don't need that resource today, but it might plant a seed and you might know where to go if somebody has a question or a concern, and you can be, hey, I talked to them at this and they had this resource that you might be interested in. So it kind of helps just get the information out for what's all available.
And I did notice that when I was there that people were there on behalf of other people, which is great as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
And you also have lunch. I mean, so it's not like you have people for hours on end coming in. I mean, if you are there and you want a sandwich, you typically are trying to accommodate that as well, and there's no cost. So I think it's really good that you're bringing so many departments together and so much information in one place, and it's in person. We haven't been able to do that for such a long time, so this is a really good thing that you're doing for the city, and we appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Remind us of the dates and location one more time.
Okay, it's May 3rd from 11 a.m. to 3 at the Ethelberger Center here in Sierra Vista. That's 2950 East Tacoma Street.
And Carol, how can they get a hold of us at the Sheriff's Office?
So you can reach out to us at cochise.az.gov/sheriff. That's going to be our webpage, and there's all kinds of things. Again, alert sent signups. Please do that. You can also see our social media sites at Cochise County Sheriff's Office, Sheriff Mark J. Daniels, and that'll take you to our Twitter account and our Instagram.
First Watch on KWCD Country is brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
You've been listening to First Watch with the Cochise County Sheriff's Office.
Hosted by Cochise County Public Information Officers Carol Kappas and Grady Butler.
Join us again next Friday morning, 7 to 8 a.m.
First Watch.
What you need to know from the Cochise County Sheriff's Office.
Only on 92.3 KWCD.